Hello, this is Intuitive Anna Priscilla. Good morning. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. This is a reading that's going to be quite fun and different. I had a request from a French viewer to do a reading about Notre Dame. Notre Dame, Our Lady of Paris Cathedral. And the reconstruction after the fire, particularly in light of the death of Jean Georgelin, who was supervising the repairs. So, since this is Our Lady, and she is such a strong and dominant personality in Paris and France and the rest of the world, I decided to do the reading as if I was doing a reading for her personally, so that I personified her basically. So this is a reading for Our Lady of Paris. So let's see what we get. I know that everybody was shocked. I remember sitting in the lunchroom where I worked, watching it come up on TV, the fire, and just in tears, and everybody around me, and this is in America, was just sitting there with their mouth wide open, just sobbing. So this is a spot that somehow we all hold sacred. The actual cathedral was built on the place where a temple to Jupiter had been built by the Romans centuries and centuries ago. So this has been a sacred ground for a long, long time. So let's ask Notre Dame what she's got to say about what happened to her, the reconstruction, and her relationship with this man, Jean-Louis. Okay, so the first card, I'm going to tune in a little bit here. And I did use my charms. I tried to pick one charm for each position, but two charms just kept coming out, so I went with the flow, of course. So when I saw this first card come up, I knew that we were on it. Because here, of course, she was destroyed. Well, part of her was destroyed by fire. It has also some interesting charms that came up. But here we have the tower. I love these cards. They're very simple and to the point. So here we have the tower being struck by lightning. Now we do know that the cathedral was under renovation at the time, and it is said that an electrical fire caused the damage. Well, lightning is electricity, so I think that's pretty interesting. So here we have our beautiful Grande Dame telling us that here she was destroyed, she was struck by lightning, struck by fire. So I think that's a good start. So the central card in this Celtic cross is basically the subject and the first salvo. And then the card that goes across is telling us let's do the charms first. So the charms that came for this card were fascinating because, of course, we have the Masonic measure here. It's a kind of a little version of it, but that really blew my mind because we know the Masons built Notre Dame. And also we have the moon, so it's a very emotional place. It carries the emotions of all of us. So I think that's really interesting. Also, the moon could be the past. So here we have the Masonic symbol in charm form. Now the second card, the one that goes across, this is the King of Discs, or the King of Coins or Pentacles, depending on which deck you're using. And this is a man who's organizing the building, the repairs. So it's a man of earth, someone who's a great organizer, can create structures, can command things be put back together again. So someone who's very down to earth, very, very practical. This is to do with construction. It's also the card that says power. So he had a lot of power over what happened with the Reconstruction. He was also an army general, so he's a very powerful, very commanding presence. But the fact that it's Earth tells me this is him. And so he was definitely in charge of this, putting this together. But what was interesting with the charms is that we got the cards, and then we got the hourglass. So it looks like he was actually only given a certain amount of time to do this. So we know that there was a deadline. I think it was December 2024. I think it's been moved now to when the Olympics are on in April 2024. But it was on the cards that he only had a certain amount of time in this project. So he did die before it was over. So that could be one reading of it. The other reading is that he was given a deadline, and it was his destiny or his fate. We're reading cards about this to complete this in a certain amount of time. But because it's crossing, he ran out of time. He's not there anymore. So that's very interesting, because the question was about the repair of the cathedral, and here we have the Masonic and we have the people who are working on it, and they have been charged to do it with the same methods that were originally used when they created the cathedral by the Masons in medieval. So this is a really interesting combination of cards here, and the charms really just bring that to life. So let's look at the emotions. How is Notre Dame, Our Lady, feeling about this whole process? So the card below, the middle cards, generally show the emotions, or what's been hidden, what's under the surface here. So we have the Four of Swords reversed. Now the Four of Swords is called Rest, and it's generally the card of rehab, resting, putting your swords down, calming your mind, meditation, because the swords are to do with mind, just taking time out. Well, it's upside down, so she may be thinking it's just taking too long, or that she can't rest. There's something agitating Our Lady, that she can't rest until this is done. The other thing is that the church is supposed to be a place of refuge. And so she wants this refuge to be finished. And I know there was some controversy about modernizing the whole project, but I think she would like to have it, the sanctity of the church, the calmness, the quietness of the church restored. It's not there yet for her. And here we have the candles, so we know we have the candles in the church. This is part of the sanctuary, the whole sanctuary. And we have the sign. So this is meditation. This is the inner heart of a church, a place for rest and sanctuary. But it's not there yet. So she's not quite resting until this card is fulfilled. Now, what is she thinking about? We have, which is really interesting, let's pull it closer. We have the Ten of Discs, which is completion of the project. She wants it done. She wants her sanctuary restored. This is a beautiful card for the Ten of Discs, I think. So she wants establishment. She wants the project to be finished. She wants her church to be reestablished. Her body, because we're talking about the spirit of Notre Dame, spirit of Our Lady. So what she's looking for and what she's hoping for is to have her glory reestablished, her beauty. And you can see this is a wonderful card of energy as well. So that she wants that energy to be filling her body again, her life force. And then we got some interesting charms for that. She wants the music to be there again. The harmony of the spheres, which is that picture. And also the power, her power to be restored. So that's a really interesting combination of harmony of the spheres, music, celebration, joy, and her power. She's a powerhouse of spiritual energy for the French people and the world. So let's look at the past. So in the past, we're talking about the reconstruction here. So she wants it finished. She wants the peace of her church restored. She wants the sanctuary back. But also, in the past, there were a lot of arguments about how to do this. There were a couple of trains of thought. Originally, they wanted to modernize it. There was a big uproar. And I know that a lot of the work now is being done with the same tools, the same techniques that the original Masons did it. They actually cut down a whole forest to get the wood. And so we had planning here upside down, the Two of Wands. We had two different schools of thought about how it should go. So there was some argument, some confusion about what way to go with this reconstruction. And we have the peacock. So there were a lot of people strutting around, showing off, putting on a big show, making a big drama, making a big spectacle out of it. So it was a bit of a big show, but also the peacock can be the glory of the beauty of it. So we want to restore. She wants the beauty and just the glamour, really, the gorgeousness of the church to be restored. But there's still been some controversy about the whole project. And you can see the clouds. So there was a lot of confusion, a lot of obstruction, a lot of cloudy days in regard to how to plan this and what plan should be followed in the past. A lot of grandstanding, a lot of people's egos involved here. So the card here is the near future. So what we're seeing, and I think this is her, since we're talking about her as a person, she's the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is a very savvy, smart, educated, rational woman. Someone who has a lot of power, who's been through a lot of suffering. Someone who's very independent, very straightforward, embodies the spirit of intellect, of the word, of the mind. So in the future, it looks like if this is her, there's still a lot. She still hasn't got what she's wanted. It's still not clear that she's going to get what she wants. She's getting a bit angry, getting ready maybe to chop a few heads off with that sword. That sword is facing upwards, not downwards. Downwards would be channeling it, into a practical way. But now she's getting a bit angry about the whole situation. She's an old lady. She's been through it all. She's not happy. She wants her independence back. She wants her world back. She wants all this nonsense to stop. She's sick of putting up with nonsense. She wants it. And also, I think she feels she's lost. She's lost something. Perhaps it's this man here who was working. These are the two people we've seen. So she was working with this gentleman here. He was working with her. Now she's angry. This could be the card of the widow as well. She's lost this partner here. So there she is, a lot of rage, a lot of disappointment, a lot of anger here. And we have the hat, which is the card of the people, powers that be. The people are on top. So perhaps she wants them to, a new regime is going to come into play here. There's going to be new person wearing this gentleman's hat. She's not very happy about that. And there's the chair. So she's sitting by watching all of this going on. Also, it looks like maybe the same urgency won't be there. There's going to be a pause where things aren't going to happen very quickly. They're going to be sitting around deciding what to do. The chair is just kind of taking it easy for the powers that be. So there might be a pause here, and that's going to really make her angry. Because her man here we have the pair. Here she is. Here he is. She's lost. His time is up. So we have a new situation coming. So this is the situation at the moment that she is in, that she's feeling, and here she is. She's angry. She's been stabbed in the back in some way. She's lost her clarity. He was a very clear channel for the ideas that and the plans, but here the card's upside down. So this can be a card of treachery as well. She feels betrayed. She feels she's been stabbed here. And there's been some ill will on some level towards her. So this is a card of being, damaged and war almost. So there could be a lot of conflicts going on around this whole plan now about where it's going to go and who's going to do it. But the original beautiful clear vision is been turned upside down now. So the details have to be combed through, things have to be worked through again. The plan has to be refined. All the tangles and arguments and conflicts around it have to be worked through and sorted out before things can move forward smoothly. It's kind of a big mess right now, so you need a comb to do that. And then we have the deer. So the deer is gentleness, modesty. Perhaps all these grandiose ideas need to be toned down a bit. This is taking a more gentle path. Quietly. There's too much noise right now for her. And then this is the people around her, the situation, the environment that's around this whole reconstruction now. And this is interesting because we have the King of Swords, which would be the partner to this, is upside down. So again, these are people in power. There's some big power struggle going on, perhaps. But also, if these couple were upright, her world, her partnership here has been turned upside down as well. She's lost her partner. But this can also signify people in power who are misusing that power or that authority, and it's called authority. So there's probably, again, some arguments going on, some problems with authority, the people who are going to take over this project now. And she's not too happy because these two are not particularly happy cards because they're upside down. And the swords being mental, there's a lot of mental confusion. Everything's been turned upside down for her. We have the genie lamp. So she's hoping that they will fulfill her wishes for this project. And the pipe is about old men sitting over smoking their pipes, discussing what to do. So she's hoping that it will resolve, and this could be her man here who she's lost. She wishes he was still there. Maybe she can feel him around her, in her. So because they're both swords, I can see this as a relationship she had with the previous man, but also now there's problems because this is the environment. So there's some problems with authority, the government, perhaps, the people who are in charge of this project. So this has many layers here, this card. So this is the hopes and fears, and again, it's upside down. So there's a lot of upside down cards in this reading, which is frustration, delays, blockages. So her hope with the Queen of Wands is that things will just get going, that the energy will be, the torch will be picked up, someone will move forward, the energy, the fire, the original inspiration will still be there, but it's upside down. So she's afraid again that this energy is going to be blocked. This creative energy, which was the original Jean-Louis, is not there, and that she's not going to have her spirit's not going to be recognized, and someone's not going to pick up the torch again. So this is what needs to happen. Someone needs to pick up the torch with the enthusiasm, the vision, and the creativity to finish this job. But it's being blocked for a while. So her fear is that this passion that was originally there maybe be waning. And then we have the elephant. So again, things are going to go slowly. It's going to be a long, slow, deliberate process. Also, we have the elephant. So there has to be a restoration that goes with the age of the cathedral, the history of the cathedral. So this new effort has to carry that tradition. And we have the fountain. So the fountain is the fountain of life. It's a water thing, but it's also could be the communal, perhaps where the holy water is, because there's a blessing. There needs to be this blessing, this tradition. So she's hoping to see that fountain of spirit restored in her church the way it used to be. And this can be her enthusiasm too. She wants her fire to be back, her inspiration. She wants it to be a place of healing again. So the ultimate outcome, this is very interesting, is persistence. The show must go on, step by step by step, and with patience and persistence, and done the right way. And this is the community too, the community of people in France, in the world, that feel this spirituality of this place. So she wants that back. That's been an old history of worship and blessing. So she's missing that. So with persistence and patience, she's hoping that the outcome will be reached. And this is a card of dis. So this card usually signifies results, but after a long period of patience and hard work. So there's still work to be done, but it will be accomplished. And here we have the 2 on the dice. So there's going to be a new partnership that's going to help her to find her former glory. This card is really interesting. I mean, this charm, because could be the Arc de Triomphe. This could be Paris. I think that's a great symbol, and it's a great symbol of triumph and victory. So the victory will be attained. And this is the hand doing the work. It says handmade, so the craftsmanship, the work has to go into it. We saw the Masonic symbol. So people are going to put their hands to it. They're going to do it carefully and cautiously, and triumph will be there. This is an interesting one to get for Paris too. So the end is in sight, but it's going to take a while. The original fire and enthusiasm of the project has to be grasped again. There may be some corruption or some kind of excessive regulation, some kind of law problems, or problems with people in power with this project. But also she's lost her partner here, who had the same vision. So she needs someone new to pick that up, and here she feels like she's been stabbed in the back. So she's lost something. This has been a sudden blow for her to lose her man, but he was only given to her for a certain period of time, it looks like. So there we have that. Then I did pulled one more card just to kind of sum up the reading, and I got Justice upside down. So there's going to be some legal issues, I think, maybe some lawsuits or some arguments about this whole project. concerning the laws, or maybe she feels it's unjust what's going on. There's no balance, but I think this has to do with some regulations or legal issues that might be coming up as far as this restoration is concerned. So there's a lot of blockage. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 10 cards are reversed. So this is blockage, delay, difficulties in manifesting. But these 2 cards are great. Here we go. We're going to have manifestation here, the establishment of the project, and then perseverance will get there. So those are great cards. So she'll get there eventually. But we have a lot of swords, so we have a lot of mental anguish here. We have arguments in the past over the plans for this project. Her man was only given to her for a certain amount of time, so she's frustrated. The peace that she wants and needs is not there yet. And we have some interesting cards for a church. We have the candles. We have the alms sign. We have the fountain. We have, what else do we have? We have the music. She wants her sanctuary back. There's been some clouded thought about this. So this is gonna cause some delays, it looks like, but eventually things will fall back into place. Some kind of argument between people in power going on here too. So then I asked about her man, Jean-Louis, what happened? And these cards came out pretty spontaneously. And since we're doing the reading and calling it her, it's interesting. It started with her, Notre Dame. And we got the mirror. So he was a mirror. They reflected each other. He was a mirror of her thoughts. This is asking about Jean-Louis and her relationship with him and what's happened with that. So he was mirroring her thoughts. He was good at picking up what she needed and creating it in the world. And then the second card is the eye. So he was supervising. His eye was all over everything. He was looking at the details. He was watching the project. And then we have the little umbrella. He was protecting her on some level too. He was very protective about the project and about what should be done. And then the celebration that should have been taking place has been cut. So their enjoyment of each other has been cut. So he had quite a close relationship with Our Lady, and they had a mutual. This is also the wine glass. Again, we're getting some symbolism of the Mass. We have the water, the wine, the music, the candles, and this could be also the communion. The communion of their spirits has been cut. And then he was moving forward with bringing her back to her former glory, her beauty. The rose is also a symbol for Our Lady. So he was tuned in. There was a heart connection for him and her with this project. She felt loved and appreciated, and he was beautifying her. And we have the little boot. So things were moving forward quite nicely. Thank you very much. But then we got the grave. It all ended. He was taken from her. This beautiful project, this beautiful soul connection they had was ended. Again, he only had so much time. And he's gone. So she doesn't have that person with all the love and the compassion and the interest in this project that he had. And again, we have the skull and crossbones. So something happened that was not happy or nice and took it from him. I know he died from an accidental fall. So that's a difficult one. But here he is. He's still there with her. We have the sun. His spirit is still there. She feels his spirit, and his spirit really, his light, his energy, and his vision really is still there with her. But their physical connection is ended. And this connection he had with the project and with her, Our Lady of Paris, Notre Dame de Paris. So that's a really interesting reading. He was key to this whole resurrection of her former glory and beauty. And it's a Catholic church, so the communion of souls. So thank you for listening. I think that was interesting, different reading to do. And Monsieur P, you know who you are. I hope that was entertaining for you. And thank you for listening. If you like, please like and subscribe. Do some informational searches on Notre Dame de Paris. It's a very interesting story. She has a long history, and she's been rebuilt a few times. So this is not a new situation for the cathedral. She's been rebuilt a couple of times, but we want it to be done with the original methods and to tap into the original masons who did this project. So thanks for listening. If you like, please like and subscribe, and I will be back soon.